Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the conference proceedings. Now you are awake with the tea and let's move to the third plenary session of the day. Introduction to the plenary session 3, I would like to call upon Mrs. Kalani Verosha Giganage, Assistant Lecturer, Department of English, National Institute of Education. Over to you, ma'am.
Dr. Nirupa Jayasundara is a linguistic scholar with extensive teaching and research experience in linguistics and its applicability. She is also a core curricula developer, a trainer, and a mentor with 24 years of teaching and research experience in the higher education sector. She is currently working as a senior lecturer in linguistics at the Department of Languages and Communication Studies, Faculty of Communication and Business Studies, Trincomalee Campus, Eastern University, Sri Lanka. She has obtained her PhD in linguistics in the year 2016 and master's degree in linguistics in the year 2006 from the Annamalai University, India. She has obtained her first degree in linguistics from the University of Jaffna in 1995. She has contributed her knowledge and expertise to many training sessions, undergraduate and postgraduate programs as a subject matter expert and a course curricula developer, covering a wide range of subtopics related to linguistics. Also, she has taken part in many national and international research conferences as a paper presenter to share her findings with the global academia. Further, her research papers on different topics related to linguistics have been published in many research journals. On behalf of the Department of English and the RESC family, I cordially invite Dr. Nirupa Jayasundara to share her expertise with us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kalani, for your introduction. And Reverend sirs, distinguished invitees of the conference, ladies and gentlemen. Very good afternoon to you all. It gives me a great pleasure to be present with you all on this virtual platform on this special occasion. And I first of all overwhelmed to express my thoughts on the field of ELT in line with the thought-provoking conference theme, mitigating the effects of earning loss due to learning loss, role of ESL. So concept map
Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that Dr. Nirupa Jayasundara is having a power cut in her area. So give us some time till she settled down that issue. Sorry for the inconvenience occurred.
Really sorry for the because of it was interrupted. So really sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Right. Yeah. So am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, we are audible.
Okay. So my topic is the facilitation of learning writing skills in ESL classroom, concept mapping approach. So writing is one of the productive skills in English language, as you all know. So according to Littleman, writing was defined as a process, a communication system, and a message, which means writing is a communication which uses a paper or material to convey a mental through system. So writing communication has been significant to the ideas to the readers. Writing strengthens the students' grammatical structure, idioms, and the vocabulary. It gives the students the language have reinforced students to express their ideas in correct words and sentences. So learning to write is difficult, especially for those who write in a second or a foreign language in academic context. They usually do not know enough about how to generate writing. Effective writing is considered to be a problem for learners. So, a need to find out some ways of teaching can help learners improve their effectiveness of writing skill. Writing is the primary medium teach performance, according to Graham and Harris AG. Provides a credible tool for assessing students' knowledge, academic abilities in class, and on high education assessments. Difficult for students to reach their and person potential. 2006. Of Orne and Channel 90 suggested that of learners of the learning course and what stated sorry for interruption again because of connectivity issues. Sorry. So it also provides a flexible tool for assessing teachers' knowledge, students' and academic competence in class, and high stakes educational assessments. Writing problems therefore make it difficult for students to reach occupational and personal potential. A study of Orme and Chamot suggested that two learners are the learning strategies difficulties in writing process involves a number of cognitive and metacognitive activities, for instance, brainstorming, planning, planning, organizing, drafting, and revising. Cognitive aspects of writing have received particular attention. Investigators attempted to understand the thought processes underlying the compositions of students, flower and haze. Which implies the ability to tell or retell in the form of narratives or description or to transform information into these items right to personal links with friends. 2006. It also makes it possible to collect information and detail. Individuals can further record their ideas, reflect on their thoughts, or extend knowledge on the topic through the use of writing. However, EFL learners' challenges in skills, students tend to consider that writing is the most difficult task. The ESL and EFL learners around the globe have a huge challenge and problems in written communication, since writing requires grammar accuracy. Richardson stated that difficult writing lies in iterating and organizing ideas, translating to written. Teaching to ESL EFL learners seems to be a challenge for most of the ESL EFL teachers due to learners' negligence and difficulty in writing. So the reason could be lack of insufficient basic knowledge. If we writing skills and text. In terms of school curriculum, writing skills has been one of the students is tested through formal examinations. English language is taught in Sri Lanka from to 13 compulsorily, and the English textbook, school textbooks, give more focus on reading and writing. As far as the formal exams from grade 3 to 13, students' writing skills are tested to an extent. So developing writing skills of the students in school in Sri Lanka need. Despite of the significance, students have been dissatisfactory. We take this in school, we can do more challenges in writing. So a lot of ESL learners in free school context encounter difficulties in grasping practical skills such as speaking and writing. According to school ESL curriculum in Sri Lanka, most of the students have been poor in writing. In particular, writing skills have been significant for and students. In spite of the significance, they struggled to write draft, notice, letters, and essays. So in particular, a number of writing activities such as draft writing, letter drafting, essay writing, notice writing, drafts, pictures, etc. are included in the for grade 10, 11, 12, and 13. It's noteworthy that most of the students get struggled to types of activities in the examination due to lack of writing ability. So the teachers of ESL teachers use different techniques to impart the knowledge and skills to the students. So there are writing that use the tree structure, chat, brainstorming, and listing the ideas, and the note taking, and concept mapping or mind mapping. So talk is about the concept mapping approach. So we'll see what is a strategy for making notes on a topic prior to writing. So it is a structural strategy which shows the hierarchical relationship of ideas as opposed to an unstructured strategy such as brainstorming, as we use in classrooms, in which students produce notes at random on paper. But concept maps are a tool for organizing ideas. So they usually have a row and a concept mapping, also called mind mapping, which is a technique that helps ES and EFL improve writing ability. It is an amazing assistant in your work, your creativity. First of all, the concept illustrates a thorough visualization of your computer. The data is right. Secondly, building concept diagrams is also an effective way to activate your brain because this creative process requires fast and logical thinking. Once you master this type of chart, you can find out the root of issues in a split second. Besides, concept mapping is an effective tool to foster your creativity. This type of charts is not restricted in number and it offers highlight and visualization, makes things more interesting and inspirational. So this is mind mapping or concept mapping. If you want your children to write the effects of COVID-19, then they have the concepts. They have to write the concepts in the field of health, education, or in economy, equality, and socialization. From these, they have some concepts, and then they can have a writing practice. So this is from the source, from a source. And for example, if you want to write your children to write the natural disasters, and the main ideas will be formed by the concept map, type of the disaster, what happened. These are the main ideas and types of and then sub-concepts with the types of disasters and what happened, whether it is what happened to people, animals, plants, and what happened, and the process of natural disasters. Form the concepts accordingly. So that you can use language, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Connect all the main concepts. Is a device. It facilitates students to understand the structure of knowledge and based on generally based work. It provide a rich idea of the picture, graphic, animation, etc. to the students. Teachers of students also construct them as papers or word programs on the computer. However, electronic and digital technologies For learners is to keep the necessary vocabulary in mind, learning and talking. By means of concept maps, pupils will be able to keep the concepts in mind because they will see, read, write, and change them. As they give students a chance to see concepts interrelated to each other, they are much easier to remember. Concept maps will most probably be like a game on a computer, which appeals to young learners much more than other sources. Since concept maps have developed and used in the field of education, a great many studies have been carried out on them. Concept maps have long been used as a model or strategy in various fields of learning or instruction. They can also be used in the way they are prepared by students themselves in the form of digital electronic page or a traditional sheet of paper in order to present information to learners to inform their own meaning. Concept maps, concept mapping, graphic organizer, mind maps, casual interaction maps are different terms of phrases used in different studies. Although the term were developed from concept maps, they have some structural or practical differences in meanings given by different scientists. Concept meaning is an alternative form of presentation based on hierarchical structure between concepts. So according to Novak and Govin, 84, concept maps are intended to represent meaningful relation between concepts in the form of propositions. So propositions are two or more concept labels linked by words in a semantic unit. However, for concept mapping, they say concept mapping is a technique for externalizing concepts and propositions. In this context, concept mapping can be creative activity and map help to foster creativity. It can be used as a means of evaluation. Flood and Hoffman states because of the hierarchical relationship present between concepts, concept maps are different from flow diagrams and concept nets. Although visual elements like schemata, diagrams, and charts are used in education, the main difference lies in the nature of concept maps, which were developed on basis of the mental map process to form the content and to structure it. Concept maps are used to give information to learners and for activities to enrich the contents of content maps and to evaluate the students' learning. One example might be that learners can work collaboratively to prepare a concept map. So, excuse me. Concept maps are used to give information to learners and for activities to enrich the contents of concept maps and to evaluate the students' learning. So one example might be that learners can work collaboratively to prepare a concept map, have a discussion on the subject and present it. This cooperation is quite important for language learning and it is a key to social constructivism. For example, a concept map can be used to teach or of course to learn some basic concepts of administration such as legislation, execution, judgment, law, etc. These terms are all used very widely in the related field and they are related with each other. The concepts will get deeper in the course of time and become more meaningful. Those concepts that a learner learns later will enrich the diversity of map, but the concept will be kept integrated. By means of the integration, they formed in a single group of concepts. The learner will know the relationship with concepts and how they form a unity when they come together. Map could be taught as a system or image to organize the main idea and its details. The content of those prepared by learners themselves will provide a picture, figure, associated link based on the related content. It can be prepared in various forms and structures. Parallel to new developments in information technologies, it is possible to see interactively created programs, interactive CDs, web-supported and web-based examples. For example, smart draw and inspiration software. These concept maps have their origin in constructivism. Constructivism is derived from the field of cognitive psychology. The constructivist pattern based on the work of Jean Piaget, Lev Yovsky, Jerome Werner, Howard Gardner, and Nelson Goodman, according to Fosnot, 1996. So the main assumption of constructivism is that knowledge does not exist out there in an objective reality. Knowledge is actively constructed from within by the learner, Henry and King, because it is knowledge that is agreed upon. The learner comes into any situation with prior knowledge based on past experiences. New knowledge is learned through integration with prior knowledge. Several educational principles have been derived from constructivism. Concept mapping is well a constructivist approach that learners construct their own unique understanding of concepts. The teacher can use a map as a basis for which to challenge students' assumptions of how concepts are related. Rousseau, Schumann, Held, and Yu maintain that most college faculty recognize that students will not remember specific facts from a course. What's more important is the once again extremely sorry because of these connectivity issues. I'm struggling to connect. Sorry. So concept mapping fits well with the constructivist approach that learners construct their own idiosyncratic understanding of concepts. The teacher can use a map on a basis for which challenge students' assumptions of how concepts are related. Rousseau, Schumann, Harald, and Job maintain the most college faculty recognize that students will not remember specific facts from a course. What's more important is that students take away major themes or concepts and an understanding of how these concepts are related. Using a concept map design, a course can aid the teacher in guiding the students to learn relevant concepts rather than trivial facts. Also, in knowing that students may perceive instructions differently from the way an educator intended, it can be helpful for the teacher to construct a hypothetical model of particular conceptual world of the students they are facing. So, according to Bukhari, 2016, concept mapping technique is one of the useful writing techniques in improving the writing ability, creativity, and vocabulary of the learners. According to Naqvi, 2011, concept mapping helps students to plan and organize their ideas for writing activities, and it is one of the learning techniques that can facilitate students to improve their writing skills. According to Davis, 2011, concept mapping allows students imagine and explore association between concepts, and concept mapping allows students to understand the relationship between concepts. And they are of significant structure in language teaching because of their cognitive complexity, coherence, and taxonomic organization. The concepts are contextual in English. This will create an appropriate atmosphere for it to be learned together with its phonetic and linguistic structure. Several researchers proves that the model of e-concept map can be used as an alternative teaching method to enhance the writing skills. So one of the favorite subjects in education is learning theories based on constructivist epistemology and the related instruction approaches developed . So the new ideas in the new learning concept are based on the method. The information is formed by the learners rather than being transferred by a teacher to the learners. The new values popularly accepted by great many of the surroundings focus on the fact that learners should be active formers of information, not passive recipients. In this sense, knowledge is constructed by an individual rather than transmitted to the individual. As information is based on the context and is styled by individuals, the language becomes very important because it is used as a means in this process. Learning takes place around the context and in a social interaction. The basic issues of cognitive psychology could be the way information is processed in the brain, the way it reached, and the way it is kept in memory until it will be necessary. So learners will need to form a cognitive map in their memory to use as a reference in the information process. The more the maps in their memory increase in completely, the more learners will be able to engage in the most efficient of learning activities in accordance with their potential. The learners will prefer a context-based method and an individualized creative styles in this process. One of the most preferred learning strategies is the concept map, which was developed on the basis of David Ausubel's constructivist theory of meaning by Navok, 84, inspired from Piagetian learning theory. The main idea of concept mapping is that learners will learn something in the present basic structures by adapting and assimilating new concepts and relations. Therefore, concept mapping is a strategy and method to support learners to learn by them. The meanings are subjective, and the control of a person's meanings of life must be given to him or herself. So it is an active and also helps learners to learn meaningfully. This is because in meaningful learning, learners integrate what they have already learned with what they are learning at the moment. With rote learning, learners do not need to connect what they are learning with what they are already know. But in concept mapping, it is the learning or teaching strategy to show how learners learn something and how they give meaning to it. Meaningful learning, which is defined as forming information between concepts in a way to associate the concepts and statements one owns with the new information, will only be possible when a relation between concepts is formed. The use of different materials such as texts, dialogues, and videos will be combined to form complicated knowledge structures in language learning, especially to learn or broaden vocabulary, as they will provide different learning activities besides their applications in language learning. Concept maps are used in educational sciences, psychology, and philosophy of science to present a visual language in knowledge and discussion forms. They will compete the natural language as a method of communication. Rather than an objectivist epistemology, they will display a constructivist epistemological approach based on students forming the knowledge by themselves. So if we see the effectiveness of using the concept mapping, there are several literature which based on this advantages or effectiveness of concept mapping. So according to Ali Bezer 2007, concept mapping techniques helped the students make their writing creative and meaningful. The use of relevant vocabulary in writing was high. Relevant facts and information were clearly explained. Concept maps can be utilized as a pre-writing technique to ease students' thinking on their writing process. Schultz, 1991, argues that the mapping process assists second language learners to visualize their ideas as multidimensional buildings that resemble the movement of thought itself. The mapping process may help beginning student writers to focus and order their thoughts so as to begin to write essays. Bukhari assessed that mind mapping technique or the concept mapping technique is one of the useful writing techniques in improving the writing ability, creativity, and vocabulary of the learners. And Correa concludes that mind mapping technique helps the students improve their writing skills. Davis 2011 states that mind mapping allows students imagine and explore association between concepts. Concept mapping allows students to understand the relationship between concepts. And Nurayachi 2010 stated the learners like and feel more confident using mind mapping in storytelling that facilitate or help them in speaking. Aurea 2011 stated that mind mapping strategy was effective and successful to improve the students' ability in writing skills, particularly in terms of gathering ideas for the target topic and facilitate them in learning writing. Bukhari in 2016 defines that concept maps can work as a tool to facilitate the learners to plan ideas in the pre-writing process. Learners can be provided with examples to prepare a stepwise pattern in hierarchy that would help them retain ideas till the whole of the essay is written. The use of concept map can present information using images, symbols, keywords, codes, and color to the level 1 wishes to do. This type of organization of ideas can capture the spatial, body kinesthetic, and visual intelligence of some learners. Gardner, 85 and 99. Jones, 99, found the use of mind mapping for understanding case studies very useful among postgraduate students. So, according to Chan, the mind mapping or the concept mapping tend to help students plan in the following way: to find clear focus, to have better organization of ideas, and to have clearer ideas, to have better ordering of ideas, and to include more relevant and appropriate ideas, and to delineate more ideas, to have better paragraphing. So concept mapping is the easiest way to develop information in a human mind and take information from out of brain. It is a creative and an effective way that maps our ideas. Buzan, 2002. So maps are easier to follow than a long, tardy note taking or listening techniques where ideas are kept in a top-down sequence, and it becomes difficult to make connections of the last idea to the first in the list. Concept maps can work as tools to facilitate the learners to plan ideas in the pre-writing process. Learners can be provided with examples to prepare a stepwise pattern in hierarchy that would help them retain ideas till the whole of the essay is written. The use of concept map can present information using images, symbols, keywords, codes, and color to the level 1 wishes to do. This type of organization of ideas can capture the spatial, bodily kinesthetic, and visual intelligence of some learners. Gardner. As the content resembles that found on a topic outline, the structure of mind map is non-linear and lends itself to personalization by the students. Buzan, 93. Making a concept map should be a spontaneous pre-writing activity. Students start with a topic at the center and then generate a web of ideas from that, developing and relating these ideas as their mind makes associations. Concept maps work well as their visual design enables students to see relationship between ideas and encourages them to group certain ideas together as they proceed. And it works especially when created in groups, since the discussion this engenders aids and production of ideas and makes the task livelier and more enjoyable. So how this concept mapping approach support an ESL classroom? Let's see. So concept mapping encourages students to interact with content using all 4 language domains such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So students can write their ideas and read them. They can talk about their maps and listen to their peers. They can work collaboratively on a concept map, creating opportunities for speaking and listening, or work individually, focusing on reading and writing. Because concept maps can be simple or complex, they are an effective learning tool for students of varying skills and language levels. Students of all levels can be successful with making e-map, participating in the same activity about the same content. With make a map, there are no wrong answers. Students come up with their own meaning and connections. And they make a map and can be easily useful for students who are reluctant to participate in class activities. While verbal and written participation may be intimidating, expressing ideas visually and spatially might be approachable and liberating. Engaging students' prior knowledge helps make content comprehensible, especially for ESL students. With Make a Map, students draw connections among multiple concepts based on their prior knowledge. The result is a visual representation of their thinking created by them, and that is powerful. So there are some tips for using concept map with the ESL students. So first you have to provide a prompt such as focus question or big idea for students to think about and illustrate in their maps. And to suggest language students can use to connect their ideas, such as sentence starters and phrases. For more support, provide charts with specific language for higher order thinking skills, such as signal words for comparing and contrasting, sequencing, or cause and effect. This is especially important when asking students to explain their maps in a verbal or written summary. And encourage cooperation and communication by having patterns share their maps. If they have worked on the same focus question, they can create a new map combining their ideas. Support students' use of native language. Making connections in their native languages helps students gain a deeper understanding of the featured concept. Make a map for formative assessment. Concept maps can help identify gaps in the students' learning and in turn help you tailor instruction to their needs. Concept maps also provide an alternate modality for learners with low language skills to demonstrate what they know. So the importance of e-concept maps for language teaching is that they have concrete graphics where a signal concept is linked with other related concepts in the same category. In other words, concept maps are two-dimensional concrete schemes to show the relationship between the concept in a subgroup with a wider one, which makes them more significant in language teaching. Language, in a sense, is a daily life activity. The terms or phrases we use in our daily life are, of course, contextual, and they should therefore be taught in an appropriate context so that they could be used by learners in a right place and situation. The concept consisting of a word and words related with it prevent cognitive confusion among the students of language classes, as some concepts are presented and exemplified in entire. Concept maps could, on the other hand, help foreign language instructors to develop a general language technology supported by interactive ones. Not only can the maps be used to separate documents, but they can also be placed as an interactive pictures within moving documents. It's possible to link a concept map with another. Retrieving, playing sound, broadcasting multimedia object is under the user's control. Technology can be designed in local or wide area links to make it accessible to one or more users simultaneously. With the help of electronic concept maps, text to be used for teaching or learning could be richer and more dynamic and provide the context needed for better learning. The way concept maps can be used in that learners can develop their own concept maps. Instructors can give ready-made concept maps to teach the vocabulary needed. The instructors give the main concept and the students prepare the map. Learners prepare the map in cooperation or collaboratively. Learners form the link and understand the relationship between the main concept and the related concepts. A concept map is a tool that is designed for the individual learning and for groups guided by teachers in classes where web-based and computerized education and the internet is available. It will help teachers in their task to teach their students how to keep in mind new concepts in the context together with a similar or related one. Furthermore, the concept the students have learned will enrich the vocabulary necessary for students to master the language they want to learn. By means of concept maps, the students will not only understand the concept, but also they will be able to use them whenever they need. Teacher records one of the concepts he or she wants to teach on the tool. Students find the concept related with the one in the middle. When students themselves find the concepts related, it would most probably be difficult for them to forget them. And the maps can also be prepared on the web before a text is given. The teacher can give the students some of the concepts to be presented in the text, and the students can find the necessary concepts related. When a teacher has a chance to contact his or her students to check what they have found, she or he will be able to direct the students to find the right concepts by means of sentences. The students will construct in a tree. They will learn to use the concept and understand the relation between concepts. In the following class, they will learn how the concepts are used in context. This is also a chance for a teacher to get feedback for his activity, his or her activity. So concept map will create a learning atmosphere for a number of activities in foreign language classes, such as teaching general or technical noun, adverbs, adjectives, phrasal verbs, etc. It will facilitate contextual comprehension, which one of the most important objectives in language teaching. And it can also be designed after reading a text. This is a better way for students because they will have a sample in the text and create the map in an easier way. Otherwise, the students will have to consult a monolingual dictionary or search a lot of text to find the necessary materials. They will find an opportunity to compare the e-concept maps they have designed before and after the course. When a concept map is completed, each student records it in his or her computer. At the end of the semester, she or he will hand it to the teacher to be accumulated in a file. The teacher will later deliver the file to the students in order to study in the future. So this has a number of advantages. For instance, the students will find several maps for the same concept. By using e-concept maps, the students will learn to use words in sentences. They will learn to pronounce them. The students have another advantage. They can share their maps beforehand, which will help the possibility of interaction in the classroom. Sharing will require communication among classmates, which is also the main task of education. The communication from and to the teacher and the one among students will create a better environment for effective learning. As different students, probably from different levels, will prepare an e-concept map, they will be able to compare themselves with other students in the same class. This is a good way to see the improvement of the students. A teacher can also see the differences and similarities among the students, which is called peer assessment in the field of education. In language teaching, English ELT, they can be used to learn a word and those related with it, to learn how words are used, to learn how to spell and to read words, to comprehend a text easily, to learn grammatical structure of words. And in ELT, what instructors do is mainly to give grammatical structures and to give as much vocabulary as possible that learners will need to express their feelings, ideas, and needs, etc. by means of them. Sentences are formed of smaller elements that we call words, and the words are in two groups, content words and function words. Learners are given content words in structures with their synonyms and antonyms. The function words, however, are given in grammatical structures where they are usually the only alternative to be used there. Learners also given opportunity to develop reading and writing skills. When the aspect of technology is combined with concept maps, it would make contributions in establishing electronic learning setting in the classroom. Concept is the order, regularity in the voluntary events. For instance, rain is a label used for falling off drops from clouds. Propositions are related word forming and the semantic unit, which shows a particular order. Concept maps are visual references, representation, and they allow us to recognize the relationship between the contextual elements and support the acquisition of an informative view. So there are some tips to make how to make the mind maps with your students. First, choosing a topic. This can lead to a great interest in the task on the part of the students, as well as perhaps greater knowledge of the topic under study. The mind map strategy can be used to explore almost any topic, usually starting by writing the topic on the board. Second is note making. Once the topic has been introduced, the teacher can encourage the students to close their eyes and think about it for a minute or two in silence. They then have 2 minutes in which to note down their ideas. If they do not know a word in English, they can write it in L1 at this stage, as dictionaries or too much teacher intervention tend to halt and inhibit the creative flow. Then working in groups, they can compare and discuss their ideas, perhaps adding to their mind maps as they go. This stage also provides the opportunity for peer teaching, as other students may be available to provide the English word for the idea that was noted down in L1. Third, getting the feedback. The next stage in which the teacher makes a collective mind map on the board is optional, but it's useful for students who are new to the idea of mind maps or weak classes. It is also in this feedback stage that any remaining language problem can be ironed out. As the teacher elicits students' ideas and reformulates expressions or corrects, students will learn how to express their ideas in English. Such personalization is said to aid vocabulary learning. So, as a sample method, if you give the concept Sri Lanka, the students can focus on geographical features, the location, weather, natural beauties, etc. And in the education, schools, number of schools, types of schools, national schools, provincial schools, colleges of education, and universities. And in the concept of politics, president, prime minister, ministers, political parties, types of election, they can collect the concept, sub-concepts. And sectors, education, agriculture, fisheries, farming, etc. And in the administration, list of districts, list of provinces, list of DS office, GS divisions, etc. And in health, hospitals, MOH, etc. And if you go in the line of languages, what's the first language and second language, foreign languages, status of language, likewise. So this is a sample method. So in conclusion, the concept maps are tools that make ideas visual. They allow clear experience and understanding to be taken into consideration when building new concept into the perceptual framework. By using concept maps, learners use their prior knowledge to understand the new concepts. It makes a link between unknown and known information that leads to a deeper understanding. Concept mapping is a technique to let one person convey meaning and relationship to another person in a visual format, and concept maps have been shown to foster a joint understanding between two individuals viewing the same map. The concept map is believed to enhance recall the memory, aid in negotiation and balancing of conflicting needs, and create mutual understanding. And it is a geographical map visualizing the relationship among concepts and it is a pre-task planning process that involves drawing diagrams of circled ideas and links connecting them. Key components of context maps are the propositional relationship or links, two or more concepts labeled linked by words that read as a unit. The links are usually action words explaining the meaning of relationship. In the early stages of developing this skill, links may be less important than basic concept identification. Navok and Khanna's 2008 claim that drawing this type of diagram allows writers to organize ideas in a hierarchical order by setting the most general information at the top of the diagram and the most specific ones at the bottom, and see how one concept is related to another concept. So concept mapping relies heavily on cognitive theory and also builds assimilation and meaningful learning theory. According to assimilation theory, learning is the most effective when new knowledge is related to previously learned material. According to this theory, the key dominant of individual's learning was his or her previous knowledge. So using concept map is a very important teaching strategy used in both presenting information by teachers and students, management and evaluation of their own learning. However, the students and activities based on concept maps are particularly used in the visual presentations of the required data of contextual areas. They have potential to be used for several learning and other purposes. Considering in particular the elastic characteristics of concept maps and their positive effects on learning, it can be possible to develop and extend their use for several computer, internet, and learning areas. In addition, it would be useful to develop concept maps for the fields related to students and create multimedia settings to achieve this aim. It is necessary to use concept maps, providing certain information categories in a way that would help interactively among students and would allow their manipulation. Learning tasks should be challenging, authentic, and meaningful. In this respect, the technological potential supporting some particular learning goals should be considered. Multimedia-based web can be present to the extra source, graphics, concept maps, and audio documentation. So thanks to this technique, students grasp certain concepts and the meaningful relationship of these and their concepts. When looked at from this point, this provides a complementary view about a certain concept. This is a view supported by the Gestalt theory, and it's the claim that the whole means more than the pieces that composes the whole. The concept map is an important tool for supporting the activities based on the text in reading and understanding this text, since it forms a complete activity in terms of English teaching, reading, writing, comprehension, speaking, and grammar. The concept map gives every student the chance to prepare their own concept map following the main ideas, judgments, and case included in the text. This also gives students the possibility of recording their concept maps to the version provided by the teacher-centered version of their own computers. So these are the references I make use of to make these presentations. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
I'm Shamila Dharmasena from RESC Anuradhapura. Let me ask you a question, madam. How can we make use of concept mapping in developing grammatical accuracy of students other than concepts, ideas, information, and vocabulary?
Yeah. So in the concept map, if you give a concept and the sub-themes will be developed by the students and by helping by the teachers, but at the same time you have to relate the word classes, I mean the verbs or the word nouns which can be derived from the concept. For example, as I noted down in a diagram, so natural disasters, the main concepts are what are the natural disasters, where it happens, and who has affected. And with this context, they have to develop the vocabulary, which verbs can be used and which nouns can be used to elaborate this, and which are the adverbs can be used to elaborate these natural disasters. Then you can connect the word classes with these concepts and then teach the students accordingly.
Right. Thank you very much, madam.
Hello, madam. I'm from RESC. It was kind of very useful workshop because it was really good to understand. I mean, it made the teachers aware regarding psycholinguistic aspects of learning as well. My question is, does it increase negotiation of meaning, interaction? Will it be increasing second language acquisition as well in learners? Can we rather increase collaboration, learner collaboration? Or otherwise it is kind of individual work when we mind map things? Can we put it into group and work?
Yes, to some extent it will extend the concepts can be used to extend the vocabulary or the pronunciation or the techniques of writing or the reading techniques, because they are collaboratively working together in a pair work or the group work. They can not only the concept the collaboration is extending, but the concepts are shared with them among themselves, so that they can, I think they can get information about these language aspects as well. I think so.
Thank you very much.
Madam, I'm Kamala Wilson from RESC Nuwara. I also have a question to ask, but it is not directly related to concept mapping, but anyway, it is kind of related because it is regarding writing. Because as you said, madam, we know that even our curriculum, classroom teaching, and also assessment process, it gives more focus on reading and writing. But still, our students are very much poor in writing. So what can be the cause, madam, according to your idea? What is the reason? What can be the reason, madam, for that?
The same questions are with me also, because as undergraduate students, we are also experiencing the same thing. After the 13 years of teaching and learning of English, they cannot write a piece of information with accuracy in part of grammar. Then we wonder why it is so. Because of, I think, some teaching, wrong teaching methodology, or the less, what can I say? Because the methodologies used by the teachers may be wrong, or the environment of the students, maybe they are from some they are not from some very, very sophisticated environment, so that they don't know the words or how to put it in a grammatical way. So I think most of the time these environmental factors are the main reason for their deficiency in writing or the language learning. I think so. But the theories are there, but we are applying, but we don't know how this can be reduced.
Okay, thank you so much, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that some parts of this session was not so clear for you all, but sometimes we have to tolerate the technical issues to which we do not have solutions. Okay, with the time frame we think this is the end of the third plenary session. It's a really grateful to you, ma'am, for the informative session conducted here, and it's really benefited for the teachers of English who have gathered in this virtual conference regarding concept mapping. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am. This is the end of the second day of 24th National RESC Conference and 9th National Conference on Language Assessment 2022. And hope to meet you all tomorrow on the third day by 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you all for the great support. Thank you. Have a good day to you all.